I don't really remember the names of my own songs. Yeah, I don't have a lot of technical expertise on anything. You don't get used to it. It gets worse.
I know that you like Incubus.
When I was a child, yeah.
You know, is it more?
No, not so much anymore. Mexico City was a really intense one, actually. Our last show there was pretty wild.
Oh man, Peter, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited to go to your show soon here in Guadalajara.
Sick.
So you're coming to Mexico. How are you feeling about it?
Good. I love Mexico. I have a lot of fun there. Obviously the food is extremely good. But yeah, I spent a little bit of time traveling there, and it's a beautiful place. I really like it.
Awesome. Well, I want to ask you about a few things. First of all, I was listening to your album Horsey, which I encourage everyone to go listen to. And one of my favorite songs was Look Inside, which I found has like a very particular drum beat, like with an odd time signature. And I know you play the drums, so I kind of wanted to ask you like your approach to percussion and drawing beats or playing beats, and how you go about them.
Damn, I don't know. I just sort of do it intuitively, I guess. I think I don't really remember the names of my own songs, or any songs really. I'm not good with that. It took me a second to remember which one that was. Yeah, I don't know. I like to. I usually start simple and then move things around until it's weird enough to be interesting, but still feels straightforward enough to, I don't know, like drive something.
So it's more like a gut feeling thing than a technical thing?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of technical expertise on anything. Like when I was a kid, I did like piano lessons and stuff, but I didn't really take much theory to heart. You know, I haven't had access to a drum kit in like 8 years or something. It's been a long time. I'm trying to remedy that right now. Yeah, I don't know. Programming drums is just really fun, and you know, I don't think too hard about it. Just let it happen.
Are you more of playing the drums on a keyboard, or do you literally draw it with a mouse?
I use an Electron analog rhythm.
Okay.
I can't use I don't do anything in the box. I record everything. It's just like hardware recorded in. I don't function super well in the computer. I need knobs and buttons and stuff.
Yeah. Well, now that we're going kind of like on a geeky technique side of your music, I usually try to make at least one or two questions for our musician audience and and the people in the audience that are like producers. I wanted to ask you, do you have any favorite VSTs right now that you're using?
Like plugins or
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get too wrapped up in that kind of thing.
All right.
It's all pretty straightforward. I like the Pro Q equalizer a lot, like the Fab filter. That's like the main kind of important thing, I feel like. You know, like I got some Waves compressor that's okay. I usually just use the one built into Ableton. I like the Valhalla reverb because it's $50. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty versatile. I don't know. I don't think any of that stuff matters that much, honestly. But those are some of the things that I am accustomed to, so I continue to use.
Cool. Honestly, because you have like a very particular sound and very unique. So I would have thought that you have like very like underground plugins and very weird stuff maybe going on behind the scenes, but it sounds like it really isn't.
It's hardware that you get that sound from. Plugins are plugins. They're always going to sound like the DAW, you know. I try not to sound like the DAW without forcing some sort of fake analog sound into it, because ultimately that'll just sound like Ableton 2. Yeah, I try to keep it as outside as I can.
Yeah. So you're more of a hardware guy than a software guy.
Yeah, I don't know very much about that either, though, so I don't ask too many questions.
Yeah. Shifting a little bit on topics. Well, I know you've got plenty of experience touring. And I wanted to ask, because I'm very curious to know, how different is it to tour locally than it is to tour internationally? Do you feel like more pressure, or is it more relieving knowing that you're probably not going to visit that city in a long time and you're probably not going to see those people again in a long time?
I mean, that feeling goes for wherever I'm playing. That's one of the relieving things about tour and being constantly in motion, is that good or bad, however the set goes, however the night is, however you feel, you leave the next day and then you have to think about something else. Like, you have a new thing that you have to do. So it's easy to run from a problem.
Yeah, because you can just start over the next day on the next city.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons after a tour, it's kind of you get like a post-tour blues kind of thing. It's difficult to reacclimate to just being at home. But I mean, as far as touring locally or internationally, I live in Canada and I like never play here. So basically all of my touring is international.
Okay. I
don't really think of going to the States the same way as most places, I guess. So that would be pretty different. I feel like the hardest thing going far away is the flying. Like, on the tour that we're about to do, we're taking more flights than we're playing shows. We're flying every other day for like 2 weeks. That's kind of the hard part. The rest of it is just a blessing to be able to go somewhere so far away from home and there be people there to listen. It's like amazing. It's crazy.
I imagine that flying is probably much more exhausting than playing the actual set.
Yeah, I always thought I would get more used to it. You don't get used to it. It gets worse, it turns out, which is frustrating, but that's okay. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Touring is not very glamorous, and I'm fine with that.
Well, you've been touring for a long time. You've got plenty of experience. So, I mean, one would think that maybe you get used to it, but it's I guess it's always hard and challenging being far away and spending so much time on airports and stuff. One of another recurring questions on this show is that we always like to ask artists what are they currently listening to, especially when they're on tour. Like, what are you listening to on your flights and while you're traveling?
Lately I've been listening to a lot of Dido.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, it turns out I love Dido, which I didn't realize for a really long time. So that's kind of it's been nice. She makes very comforting, happy music. I like it a lot. What have I been listening to? I don't know. It changes a lot. I listen to a lot of music, and I feel like in the van on tour, I can't get away with playing things too often before someone's like, we listened to this like 2 days ago. Like, someone will get pissed off at me. Lately, I don't know. I've been listening to Aiko Ishibashi soundtracks. She did the soundtrack for like Drive My Car and Evil Does Not Exist, those two movies. I really like her work. I've been listening to that Prince album, Musicology. It's got some really ridiculous stuff on it. It's from 2004.
That's what I was thinking.
James K.
Kind of like older music.
Yeah. James K's new couple tracks that they just put out. It's like constantly shifting. I feel like on planes it's a lot of ambient music.
Because you also strike me like a guy that listens maybe to rock music. That's what I would have guessed too. Like maybe some alternative or prog stuff. I know that you like Incubus.
When I was a child, yeah.
You don't listen to them anymore?
No, not so much anymore. I find, with a lot of that stuff, and it's no disrespect, with a lot of stuff that I loved so much when I was a kid, if I return to it, I feel the same childish emotions that it brought out of me, I guess, as a child. And then, I don't know, it's not a super pleasant experience. That goes for a lot of stuff. It's not just, when did I probably first listened to Make Yourself when I was like 12 or something. I don't know. I was little.
You're really not that into nostalgia?
I mean, I think I am, but not like, I don't trust it. I'm not, I think it's a trap and I don't love getting too involved with it. That being said, if you throw on Crooked Rain or like an old Pavement record, I will go crazy because I love it so much. But I really like the Deftones. That's one that worked out for me going back to from like when I was a teenager. Korn still works for me. But I don't know. I find
do you enjoy going to live shows? Or do you you don't spend that much time outside?
I don't love live music personally, which is funny. I put a lot of work into doing it well, but I don't know. It's like being at work, except for it's like going and hanging out at work or something. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah,
I pick and choose the live music I go to pretty sparingly.
Yeah, I've seen that pattern in people that make a living off of playing live music. They don't really go to live shows a lot, which is it's true. I guess it kind of ruins it for you guys. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's tough for me to speak for anyone else. But
it is kind of like a common thing.
Yeah, I think sets are too long.
Yeah,
our set is too long, but everybody gets mad at me if I make it shorter. So I got to make it like an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. I think that's how long this one is. I think 40 minutes is like the max. After that, I find it difficult to like absorb things properly. I think festivals are really overwhelming. Like that's too much music at once.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I find it difficult to go to like a really big art gallery. If I look at too many things, I get tired. Like emotionally like worn down. So yeah, I'm definitely more of a recorded music person, I think.
And are there any what are some other things that inspire you outside of music, like maybe movies or books, or where else do you get inspiration for your music?
Yeah, a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies. That's always been kind of my favorite media, I think. I love film. I love soundtracks.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Do you in movies, do you look more to, are you analyzing feelings and moods, or are you listening actively to like soundtracks and music?
I feel like I'm a pretty good film attendee. Like I just sort of let it happen. I don't analyze anything until future future viewings of something, that's kind of like when I would start thinking about it more analytically, I guess. I think that's why I like them so much, is like I don't bust it down into parts while it's happening. That's not fun. I do that. That's actually a thing I do with live shows. I like look around, like, what are they doing? Are they doing that? Why are they doing that?
Does it change a lot from country to country?
Does what?
Does it change a lot, like the audience's behavior? Do you feel like it changes a lot between countries? Or can you? Yeah?
Yeah, between cities, between towns,
every city.
states. Yeah, it's always different. A crowd in New York is like the polar opposite to a crowd in LA. I guess those are like cities considered to be very different, but like they're like opposing sides of the states. But yeah, like a crowd in like South Korea is going to be a lot different, like in the way that they react to music, than like a crowd in Jakarta or a crowd in Mexico City. Was a really intense one, actually. Our last show there was pretty wild.
Yeah, we can get rowdy.
Yeah, it was good. It was really positive. Like, a crowd in like northern England is very rowdy, but in kind of a disrespectful way. Like, I don't take it personally. It's cool. People act how they're going to act. It's really, I got really good at removing my own feelings from that situation over the years, because it'll drive you crazy if you go on feeling like you're so important and you're being so disrespected or something. But like, for a lot of people, a live show is just like a way to go out. It's like a thing to do, and I think that's positive, and it should keep happening. So if people are like that and they're chatty in the crowd or whatever, that's like all good with me. But yeah, the more intense thing is how differently people act in different places.
Cool. Well, my man, it was a pleasure talking to you. Is there any final message you'd like to give your audience, your Spanish-speaking audience, or your audience here in Mexico? Anything we can expect? Any upcoming things or plans besides your show?
I am going to try my hardest to do a very good job on stage.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, it was a pleasure, man. Can't wait to see you here.
Yeah, me too. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. I'll see you around.
All right. Adios.
Thanks, brother.
See you.